Hi, today we're going to be talking about firefighting foam. This is a hot topic in the news right now. And so we want to talk about what it is, who is it affecting, the conditions it causes, how this relates specifically to veterans, and so much more. So we hope that you'll join us for this discussion. Hi, and welcome back to Hill and Ponton's VA Disability Blog. I'm Natalia Joffrey, the company COO.
And I'm attorney Allison Reddick.
And so Allison and I are going to talk today about firefighting foam. And this is a hot topic, Allison, isn't it? I mean, like it's growing and everything. And we were hearing a lot about it on the news and different things. But the reason we want to talk about it specifically is because we feel as if though there's a lot of veterans affected by it. But let's start with the basics. So what is firefighting foam?
So, firefighting foam is exactly what it sounds like. It is a foam used for fire suppression. It's used to cool the fire and coat the fuel, preventing its contact with oxygen, which oxygen exacerbates fires, resulting in the fire being extinguished in a more timely fashion and a faster, basically.
So basically, it helps to put fires out in
Yes.
general. Any specific fires? I mean, why is this?
Yes.
Uh,
So specifically would be fires that are related to jet fuel and aircraft fires. Those combustion is so quick and they burn so fast that the firefighting foam helps extinguish it much faster than water would.
And I bet that's what's going to come up later, and that's how it's going to relate to our veterans that perhaps were around jet fuel and similar items. Maybe hint, hint. Okay, that's all right. Does this foam degrade like other chemicals? Because it is chemical based, right?
Okay, so basically, firefighting foam is made out of man made chemicals. So they're not naturally occurring chemicals. They are perfluorooctane sulfonate and perfluorooctanic. I butcher that acid. So, also known as PFOS or PFOA. And they are used to make items heat and water resistant. They're actually found in a variety of commonly used items like
Uh-huh.
the takeout food wrappers, how they kind of have like that glossy feeling on them to keep things hot. Uh,
Uh-huh.
Non-stick cookware, Teflon, and certain kinds of clothing.
Hmm.
But the foams, they are called aqueous film forming foams, so AFFF. So those foams, we're just going to call it foam. The firefighting foam contains high concentrations of those chemicals.
Hmm.
And so these chemicals, now we know that they can be highly toxic. But what is so special about the makeup of this foam is that the molecules used to create it are a chain of carbon atoms and or fluorine atoms that surround it. And that's one of the strongest bonds that can be made. Natural processes used to break down such bonds, like water or grease, can't break that down. So it's also very slippery and resistant. So that's what makes it useful in that it can be utilized and not be broken down by water and can suffocate the flames and such quickly. But that's what makes it so efficient is also what makes it so bad
Dangerous.
and
Yeah.
dangerous is that it can't be broken down. And the issue is that a lot of this foam, after you utilize it and spray down the fire, it gets into the groundwater. And so that's how a lot of veterans were exposed. There's a list of at least 90 military sites that their on base or off base drinking water contained higher than allowable, like EPA allowable volumes of the PFOs, OS, and PFOA chemicals.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess to just summarize, because it gets so confusing. This PFOS, PFOA, AFFF, it sounds like you're insulting someone. And really, it's just all foam,
Yes.
folks. You don't have to worry about which acronym is right because it is. It's a lot of information and it seems so complex. But what I think people need to pull away from this is that what you said, what makes it so effective is what makes it so dangerous. Like it basically, extinguishes, right, a fire. But the fact that it can't be broken down, I believe that this is falling under the family of what they call forever chemicals.
Yes.
And the reason they're forever chemicals is because it will forever be in your water supply. It will forever be in your body. It will forever be a problem. Let's bring it back then to how this is affecting veterans, because I do know that it's affecting a lot of veterans. So let's go back a little bit. What health conditions are associated with this?
So, like we discussed, it's found in groundwater. It's been found in the blood of fish. It's been found in human blood. And
Mhm.
so, at higher concentrations, it's still being studied that it can cause a lot of conditions. Some of the most common ones are prostate cancer, which already is something that is very common in a lot of veterans exposed to Agent Orange, which is similar. All of these, toxic chemical exposures causing these cancers. Mesothelioma is another, Hodgkin's lymphoma, multiple myelomas, kidney cancer. You can also have issues if you become pregnant and
Mhm.
you've been exposed to it. You can have preeclampsia. Your
Oh.
babies can have low birth weight. It can disrupt the way your skeleton develops. It can have immune effects, thyroid effects. It's something that's we're just now starting to research, and we don't even know what other long-term effects can be caused by it. This is just the beginning.
Yeah. Who would you say is more at risk at developing health problems from firefighting foam? And is this a widespread problem? And the reason I ask it is like we know, for example, Camp Lejeune, the problems associated with the water, drinking water there for all those years. We've talked in the past about Fort McClellan. Um, so my question is twofold: who's more at risk, and is this a problem that is concentrated in a specific area, or is this something nationwide?
So this is definitely something nationwide. Camp Lejeune is one place, Fort McClellan is one place. The high concentration of these chemicals found in the groundwater have been found in over 90 bases and on site military areas. I definitely think if we could include the link to the list, because I know that we have that list and I know we've talked about it in our blogs. And the people that are most likely to develop issues from that would be people who served at those areas. Most people who come in contact with these chemicals come in contact with such low concentration, but
Mhm.
the longer you stayed at a certain base and you drink the water every day and you showered and you utilize it, the more buildup you have of that chemical in your system and the toxic exposure. The obvious kind of people that would be exposed are actual people who use firefighting foam, the
Right.
ones who are extinguishing the fires. I had a veteran who was a firefighting instructor, and so they would create fires and with diesel fuel and such, and use the firefighting foam to put them out. He developed ischemic heart disease, and we were able to show that his exposure to the particulate matter of the fires in general and the firefighting foam caused his ischemic heart disease.
Okay. So pretty much anyone that used these chemicals on a regular basis, and I'm sure at the time they weren't thinking, oh, this is firefighting foam. I got to be careful with this. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
think they in 2019 they got started getting rid of using the toxic types of firefighting foam. So it's been used for a while.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. Sounds like a long time. What can a veteran, right? So let's bring it back to veterans. What can a veteran do if they were exposed to firefighting foam?
So first I would figure out if you were exposed, go to the link with the list of the bases and figure out if you have any of the conditions that I mentioned, if there is a connection, if you were stationed at one of those bases for a long time, as we discussed, the buildup would be greater. And then I would reach out. This is something very complicated and something that you're not going to get service connection on the first try. It's not presumptive. There's not a ton of research on it yet, but that doesn't mean that, this exposure didn't cause your conditions. Definitely file claims, definitely reach out for advice, and eventually you will get service connected for it.
And I just want to clarify because normally we'll take cases once they've been either denied or a low rating percentage has been issued, correct?
Yes.
So, so
So if
once
you
that happens,
Yes, if you file a claim and you're denied, once that happens, then we can look at the specific facts of your case and see if you had enough exposure to the firefighting foam to have a viable claim for.
okay. So obviously, can you receive VA benefits from exposure to this foam in service and the development of a serious health condition?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. What are your other thoughts? Any other experiences you've had with this foam and the difficulties involved with these cases?
I think this is just another one of the big areas that is going to come in the future. So, first we had Agent Orange, then we had Gulf War syndrome. Now we're having burn pits, and now this firefighting foam. It's something that there isn't a lot of research on the long-term effects, but the research that has been done shows that it's very damaging and that it's definitely becoming more of an issue. So, even though the difficulty right now of getting service connected is pretty high because there haven't been a lot of claims for it, don't let that deter you from filing a claim because the evidence is out there showing that these chemicals cause these conditions. And if you had significant exposure, you definitely deserve service connection for it.
Great. All right. Thanks, Allison. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you'll do so again. But in the meantime, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to visit our website or call our office.
Thank you.